In 15 years as a firefighter, I thought I'd seen every kind of stupidity, every kind of selfishness. But nothing prepared me for the day a woman stood in front of my fire truck, called the cops on me, and blocked me from saving a burning home. Only to realize that the house going up in flames was her own. That moment, caught live on her phone for hundreds of thousands to see, was the most shocking twist of my entire career, and I was right there trapped in the middle of it. My name is Jake Moreno, 38 years old, firefighter with Orange County. Before that, 8 years in the Marines. I've rolled through combat zones, I've seen bureaucracy eat people alive, but it was this pristine suburban neighborhood called Sunset Grove that almost broke me. Picture manicured lawns, white fences, every mailbox identical like they were cloned in a factory. It looked perfect on the outside, but underneath was a maze of HOA rules so suffocating you needed legal advice just to change the color of your front doormat. And at the heart of it all was Patricia Whitman, 52 Sharp Bob, cut the permanent scowl of someone convinced the world owed her an apology. Patricia wasn't just a busybody. She was the president of the Sunset Grove HOA. She had power, and worse, she knew how to use it. She once sued our fire department for parking a truck outside the community during a medical emergency, won $12,000 for the HOA, and created what locals called the Whitman precedent. Even city officials were wary of her. My buddy Danny Miller had already been destroyed by her. Danny was one of the best firefighters I'd ever worked with until Patricia humiliated him over something as trivial as his beard. She claimed his facial hair violated community aesthetic standards. He was ejected from a meeting, ridiculed, spiraled into depression, and eventually quit the department. Ended up stocking shelves at Home Depot instead of saving lives. That was Patricia's legacy. So when I rolled up that day and saw smoke rising in the distance, I wasn't expecting to see her standing square in front of my fire truck waving a laminated HOA rule sheet like a weapon. "No HOA permit. This vehicle is not allowed in," she shouted, her voice dripping with authority. I leaned out my window, kept it professional. "Ma'am, do you see the smoke? There's a fire in your community." She didn't flinch. Rules are rules. Do you have a permit or not? That was the start. Within minutes, 2 police cruisers arrived. One officer, Martinez, I knew personally. I'd pulled him out of a wrecked car 18 months earlier. The other, Johnson, was new to me, but I caught the way he deferred to Patricia, the body language of someone who lived here and knew better than to cross her. That told me all I needed to know. I kept the engine running, hands tight on the wheel, fury boiling in my chest. I'd never felt so powerless. I thought back to 3 years earlier when I lost an old man named Henry Walsh because I followed every regulation to the letter, waited for backup, filled out forms, followed the book. By the time I got to him, he was gone. The rules didn't save him. And now, here I was again held hostage by paperwork and authority while smoke turned into fire. Patricia wasn't done. She propped her phone up, went live on Facebook, and began narrating the scene like she was some kind of hero. Residents of Sunset Grove. She declared to a growing audience, "I'm protecting our community from reckless outsiders who think they're above the law." Her followers were eating it up at first. Tens of thousands tuning in, commenting, sending hearts. And behind her, the sky was turning black. I tried to remind myself, stay calm, stay professional. I cited the California Health and Safety Code that makes it illegal to block emergency services. Martinez got it immediately. But Johnson, caught between his badge and his HOA president, muttered about verification procedures. And Patricia seized on it. "I demand you verify this truck's registration, insurance, and permits," she barked. She actually accused us of being a fake fire truck like I'd rented this rig from U-Haul. And right there, something inside me cracked. I wondered if maybe I should just pull back. Wait for more units, let this whole circus implode. Maybe I'd keep my job that way. Maybe I wouldn't end up on the evening news. The doubt gnawed at me. Was I about to throw my career away fighting a woman with a clipboard? Was it worth it? That's when I heard it. A faint, desperate cry cutting through the smoke. A child's voice. "Help, please." Martinez heard it too, froze mid-paperwork. Even Johnson's face paled. But Patricia. She just angled her phone for better lighting, oblivious. And suddenly my phone rang. Danny Miller's name lit up the screen. His voice was frantic. "Jake, my mom's babysitting Chloe at a house on Maple Ridge Drive. I can't reach them. Please, man, help." Everything went cold inside me. That smoke wasn't just any fire, it was Danny's family. The same Danny whose life Patricia had already ruined. His 6-year-old niece Chloe was trapped in there, and here was Patricia live-streaming her own victory over me, while her own neighbors' lives, maybe her own family's lives, were in mortal danger. I flipped the radio to external speaker loud enough for her live-stream audience to hear. "Dispatch, this is Engine 7. I am being obstructed from responding to an emergency by the HOA president. Please log the delay." Patricia's confident smirk flickered for the first time. The live-stream chat exploded. "Lady, there's literally smoke behind you. Turn around. Your house is burning." The tide was turning against her, and fast. And then came the cruelest twist of all. The fire was on Maple Ridge Drive, her street, her home, her mother and granddaughter inside. She spun around, saw the column of fire, and her world shattered. The proud HOA queen collapsed into a panicked grandmother screaming, "Oh my God, that's my house. My family's inside." Her live stream captured every second. Hundreds of thousands of people watched her face crumble into terror. Finally, Martinez stepped in, shoving past the bureaucratic nonsense. Emergency vehicles cleared. "Proceed." Johnson mumbled something about paperwork, but nobody cared anymore. I dropped the truck into gear and roared toward the blaze. Patricia ran behind us, heels clattering on the asphalt, shouting, "Wait for me. That's my house." When we arrived, the sight was devastating. 32 minutes of unchecked burning had turned her pristine colonial into a hellscape. Flames devoured the first floor. The roof sagged dangerously. Patricia clawed at my arm, sobbing. "They're upstairs. My mother can't walk. Please save them." The irony cut deep. The people she had endangered most were her own flesh and blood. But in this job you don't stop to assign blame, you just go. I forced my way through the back entrance. The heat slammed into me, choking smoke, blinding everything. The house groaned, ready to collapse. I found them in the back bedroom. Mrs. Henderson, Patricia's mother, unconscious on the floor, her wheelchair overturned. Little Chloe huddled in a corner, crying, her hand burned. My chest tightened, not from the smoke, but from the rage. These two were suffering because of 32 wasted minutes, because one woman decided rules mattered more than lives. I carried Mrs. Henderson out first, stumbling through debris. Then I went back for Chloe, scooping her up as the ceiling caved behind us. Her tiny voice broke me. Why did it take so long? No 6-year-old should ever have to ask that. Outside, the scene was chaos. News cameras everywhere, neighbors whispering, Patricia wailing in the street. Her live stream had been abandoned, but the phone still recorded, still feeding footage to millions. The world had seen everything, her arrogance, her denial, her collapse. Insurance investigators later showed up cold and clinical, denying her claim on the spot. Policy excluded coverage for homeowners who obstruct emergency services. $850,000 of property reduced to ash with no payout. The fire marshal arrived next with paperwork that hit harder than any flame. She was under investigation for obstruction of emergency services, possible felony charges. And the HOA board wasted no time. Either an emergency vote stripped her of power, banned her from ever holding a position again. Patricia Whitman. The woman who once dictated lawn heights and mailbox colors was now a pariah in her own kingdom. I'll never forget the look on Danny's face when he arrived, saw his mother on a stretcher, his niece burned and crying. He didn't even acknowledge Patricia, didn't curse her out, just ignored her. And in a way that silence hurt her more than any insult ever could. As I filed my official report, Patricia approached me, broken mascara streaked. Please, Officer Moreno, don't testify against me. I never meant for anyone to get hurt. I looked her in the eye. I don't testify against people, Patricia. I testify for the truth. That's where her story ended, not with power, not with pride, but with the truth ripping it all away. And if there's one lesson from that day, it's this: when you put rules above human life, the fire will come for you too.